Okay, let's unpack this. You know that feeling, right? Crisp autumn air, everything looks lovely, and then bam, your lawn just completely covered. A sea of leaves, basically laughing at your weekend plans, promises of backaches, blisters. It's a whole thing. And if you've got any kind of decent-sized yard, not even talking acres, just, a normal yard, raking isn't a chore. It's a battle. It's like this workout you never signed up for. It takes hours, sometimes days. You end up just wiped out.
Absolutely. It's this annual ritual of suffering almost.
Exactly. So what if there was like a shortcut, a way to skip that whole ordeal? What if some, I don't know, simple looking low tech thing could make raking just obsolete, like gone? Well, today, that's what we're diving into. A potential solution, a shortcut maybe to knowing about this surprising device that might just, well, change your fall cleanup game.
Yeah, and what's fascinating here is, how often the really good solutions aren't the super complicated high-tech ones. Sometimes it's just smart mechanical design answering a real frustration.
Right.
So our main source for this dive is this really detailed review. It looks closely at one specific product. The VEVA 26-inch push lawn sweeper. This review is from Savage Reviews, and they basically ask, is this thing genius or just elaborate procrastination with wheels?
Love that. Elaborate procrastination.
It really gets to the heart of it.
Yeah.
Can something this simple actually work as well as promised?
Okay, so that's our mission today then. We're digging into the claims, the performance, the actual practicality of this, what do they call it? Mechanical broom on steroids?
Yep, that's the one.
We want to see if this push lawn sweeper is really the best rake alternative. Can it actually save your back, your time, and maybe, your sanity? Let's get into it.
Let's do it.
So first off, what exactly is this thing? The VEVO 26-inch push lawn sweeper. Let's paint a picture.
Okay, so picture something kind of like a manual lawnmower frame, but simpler. At the front, you've got these 4 brushes. They spin when you push it. And as they spin, they flick debris leaves, grass clippings, whatever, backwards into this big mesh bag, like a hopper attached to the back.
And the key thing here, no gas, no electricity.
None. Zero. The power source is literally you pushing it. Your horsepower, as you said. The wheels turn. That drives the brushes. Simple mechanics. No fumes, no cords, no batteries to worry about.
Okay, simple mechanics, but how does that actually work efficiently? Just pushing it makes the brushes spin fast enough.
Yeah, it's actually pretty clever. There's a gear system connected to the wheels. So as you push it at, say, walking pace, the gears multiply that rotation speed for the brushes. They spin much faster than the wheels are turning. And the bristles, they're usually angled polypropylene, stiff enough to lift stuff but flexible enough not to damage the lawn. They create a bit of an updraft, lifting the debris into the bag. It's not just pushing, it's actively sweeping and lifting. Kinetic energy doing the work.
Okay, lifting, not just pushing. Got it. And you mentioned a bag, a mesh bag. How big are we talking?
It's pretty substantial.
Okay.
About 7 cubic feet of storage capacity.
7 cubic feet. What does that mean in like real world terms? How many bags of leaves?
Roughly maybe 5 of those big black contractor bags full of leaves, something like that. It holds a lot. So you're not stopping every 5 minutes to empty it, which is a huge plus compared to, say, a small mower bag.
Okay, so you can cover a good amount of ground before needing to empty it. You're just walking, collecting, no noise, no fuel. I can see the appeal. It feels like a totally different approach.
Exactly. It's quieter, cleaner, less strenuous in many ways. Just leveraging smart design.
All right, but here's the thing with stuff you buy for your house, especially things you have to put together. The assembly. Oh man, how many times have you bought something, opened the box, and just felt dread? Cryptic instructions, a million little parts.
Oh, tell me about it. Some assembly required, nightmare, hours lost, frustration levels through the roof.
Right. So how does this VEVO sweeper stack up there? Is it another weekend project just to get it working?
Well, this is where it gets interesting. The source we looked at, it actually highlights surprisingly positive reviews about the assembly.
Surprisingly positive. Okay, I'm listening.
Yeah, like multiple users report 10-minute setups.
10 minutes. Seriously.
Yeah.
From box to lawn ready in 10 minutes.
Apparently so. Which, in the world of home assembly, that's basically light speed.
That's incredible. I mean, I spent longer trying to figure out IKEA instructions for a bookshelf.
Right. And get this, the review mentioned, one reviewer specifically mentioned not having to yell at it during assembly.
Okay, stop. That is the highest praise possible for anything you have to assemble yourself, not yelling at it. I totally get that.
It resonates, right. It suggests they actually thought about the user experience from the very start.
So what's the secret? Clear instructions? Parts that actually fit?
Probably a combination. Good instructions. Maybe parts are pre-assembled to some extent. Clearly labeled bolts. Just avoiding those common pitfalls where part A doesn't quite line up with slot B, Shows respect for the user's time. Good engineering isn't just the final function, it's the whole process, including putting it together.
Okay, huge win on assembly then. Major hurdle cleared. But easy assembly doesn't mean it actually works well. Let's talk performance. This is where the rubber meets the road, or I guess the brush meets the leaves. We heard claims about time saving, like serious time saving. Does it actually deliver? What did Savage Reviews find?
Yeah, this is where, according to the review, things get genuinely impressive. The time-saving aspect seems to be real, particularly for people with larger properties. The review cites acre-plus properties report cutting cleanup time by 75% compared to traditional raking.
75%. Wait, hold on. That's massive. So you're saying a job that took like 3 hours of hard labor with a rake?
Could potentially take less than an hour just walking behind this thing.
Wow. Okay. That is a game changer. 3 hours of back-breaking work versus an hour of walking.
That seems to be the experience reported.
Mm-hmm.
And part of that efficiency boost comes from the width. It's got a 26-inch sweep path, which means, fewer passes needed to cover your lawn compared to a standard rake, wider sweep, quicker job.
Fewer passes, less time, less strain. It sounds almost too good to be true, especially if you've spent years wrestling leaves.
It does sound compelling, doesn't it?
But okay, 75% is amazing. But is that always the case? Like, what about tricky conditions? Does it handle everything? What if the leaves are really wet and matted down? Or pine needles? Those are the worst. Do the brushes just skim over that stuff?
That's a fair question. And it ties into the sweeper's versatility, which the review calls remarkable engineering. It seems designed to handle a pretty wide range of debris without just clogging up instantly. The source mentions it collects wet leaves, dry leaves, grass clippings, even small twigs.
Even wet leaves, that's usually where things fall apart. Blowers just make wet leaf mud pies.
Right. But the brush design here, that mix of stiff and flexible bristles, seems key.
Yeah.
It has enough oomph to lift damp, heavier stuff without just plastering it down, but it's gentle enough for the lawn. So you're less likely to get bogged down just because it rained yesterday. It adapts.
Okay, that adaptability is huge. So it collects all this stuff,
Yeah.
and then what? It goes in the bag. I
Yep.
mentioned earlier comparing it to rakes and blowers, the containment aspect.
Exactly. And this is a big differentiator if we connect this to the bigger picture. A rake, you gather, then you bend, you bag. A blower? Well, the review nailed it, calling it a suburban shell game.
That's perfect. Chasing the same pile of leaves around the yard.
Yep. You blow them over there, the wind blows them back. This sweeper contains the debris in that mesh bag. Problem solved, not just moved.
That suburban shell game, I feel seen. Okay, so the mesh bag is key. Containment. What else? Does the mesh help with dust? Can you actually see what's going on?
Yeah, the mesh design is pretty smart. First, airflow. It lets air pass through so you don't get this weird back pressure or a huge cloud of dust like some vacuum systems might create, especially with dry leaves. Second, visibility. You can literally see the bag filling up. Gives you a good sense of progress, like, okay, almost full.
Ah, okay. Satisfying visual feedback.
Totally. And when it is full, emptying seems straightforward. The review says dumping is straightforward. Usually just a lever or a quick release for the bag, tip it in your compost or bin, no fuss. Easy collection, easy disposal.
Less dust, easy dumping, visual progress. Sounds like they thought the whole cycle through.
It seems that way, streamlining the whole task.
All right, let's talk practicalities then. Performance sounds great, assembly too. But what about the cost? And where do you put this thing? So the price point you said.
Around $100, according to the source.
Okay, about $100. So that puts it, squarely between a quality rake and a basic leaf blower, as the review says. More than a good rake, maybe similar to a basic corded blower.
Right, so you're weighing that initial cost against the benefit.
Is it a better long-term value, though? A rake is cheap, maybe $30, $40. A blower might be similar up front. What makes the $100 sweeper worth it?
Well, think about the hidden costs. That $30 rake costs you hours of your time and potentially chiropractor bills down the line. That basic blower might be $80, but you're dealing with cords, the noise, annoying neighbors, and you still have to gather the leads eventually. Gas blowers add fuel and maintenance costs. The sweeper, at $100, eliminates the fuel, dramatically cuts the physical strain and time, is relatively quiet, and actually collects the debris. So the value isn't just the purchase price, it's the ongoing savings in time, energy, back pain, maybe even sanity.
That's a really good point. The value of your time and well-being. Okay. Makes sense. But what about storage? 7 cubic feet sounds big. Is it another one of those things that just takes up half the garage?
That's always a concern, yeah. Garage clutter is real. But the review mentions this specifically. Apparently, the hopper folds down flat.
Oh, it folds. Okay, that helps.
Yeah, so it can lean against the wall or even hang from hooks. It compacts surprisingly well, is the phrase used. So it shouldn't be this massive obstacle you're constantly tripping over.
And is it heavy? Easy to move around, get in and out of a shed?
Seems manageable. The source notes the whole unit weighs around 30 pounds.
Yeah.
So most adults should be able to handle it pretty easily. Lift it, roll it. The wheels are usually pretty robust too, designed for lawns, not just smooth pavement.
Okay, 30 pounds, folds flat. That addresses a lot of the practical concerns. It sounds like they really did think about the whole ownership experience.
Seems like it. Those little details, storage, weight, ease of use, they add up.
Right. So after digging into all this, the mechanics, the surprisingly easy assembly, the impressive performance, the practical stuff, what's the final verdict from the review? This raises that important question again. Genius. Or just procrastination on wheels?
The conclusion is pretty clear. It's seen as legitimately useful.
Legitimately useful. Okay.
It stops short of calling it, life-changing or revolutionary. It's framed more as genuinely practical. And sometimes genuinely practical is exactly what you need.
Yeah, genuinely practical might not sound as sexy as revolutionary, but for a chore like raking leaves, practical sounds pretty darn good. Why do you think they draw that distinction? Not life-changing, but still highly recommended.
I think it's about the scale of impact versus the nature of the innovation. A life-changing product maybe shifts paradigms like, the internet or smartphones. This sweeper isn't doing that. Its core value, as the review puts it, is mechanical engineering solving a real problem without overcomplicating the solution.
Ah, okay. Elegant simplicity.
Exactly. It's smart, effective mechanics applied to a common chore. It's an evolution in yard cleanup, not a total revolution. But for this specific problem it solves, the impact feels significant.
And who is it really for then, according to the review?
The target audience is pretty broad. Basically, anyone with a lawn larger than a postage stamp. If you dread that fall cleanup, if you're tired of the rake or the blower shuffle, this could save your back and your sanity. It's a tangible improvement, less effort, less time, less noise, no fuel, just a simpler push-powered way to get the job done.
So what does this all mean? We dove into what looks like just another yard tool, but found something, well, surprisingly effective, cleverly engineered, using simple mechanics to solve a big pain point. It's kind of a good reminder, isn't it, that the best solutions aren't always the highest tech ones. Sometimes elegance and practicality win out. Thoughtful design achieving more with less.
Absolutely. And maybe that leads us to a final thought, something for you, the listener, to chew on. If this relatively simple mechanical sweeper can take a dreaded chore like leaf raking, something that feels like hand-to-hand combat, as the review said, and make it manageable, what other everyday tasks or frustrations in your life feel like that, like a constant battle?
Interesting question.
Could there be a simpler, smarter, maybe even a mechanical solution hiding in plain sight for some of those things? Maybe it's organizing clutter, dealing with email overload, prepping meals. I don't know. It's about looking critically at how we do things, questioning the hassle, and wondering if there's a more elegant, less strenuous way. Applying knowledge not just to understand big ideas, but to find those small practical wins that genuinely make daily life a little bit easier, a little bit smoother, one chore or one frustration at a time.